सगळे आमचे मोगाळ CCR TV पळयणाऱ्यांक माय मोगाचो येवकार. हेच दिसांनी जे पळय चायनाक कितें घडटा तें इंडियेक रोखडेंच अफेक्ट जाता. लोकांक कितलें हेल्थ चायनिजान जालें जाल्यार ते रोखडेंच म्हणटा कोविड-19 तसलेंच एक सिट्युएशन चायनाक कशें जालां. पूण तेंच ना पळय जालेलें आनी आतां ताजो बरोच वेगळो सार आहा. तर इंडियेक जायते केस 7 वा 8 मेवलेले आहा. कांय भिवपाची गरज ना. आनीक हो न्यू व्हायरस आमी म्हणटा तो एक्चुली न्यू व्हायरस न्हू. हो व्हायरस कितें जाता, सिम्पटम्स कितें जाता, उपाय कशे घेवपाचे आनी कितें करपाचें आमचे बरोबर आमचो गोंयचो एक्सपर्ट आसा आमचे कडेन आनी तो जावन आसा आमचो डीन ऑफ गोवा मेडिकल कॉलेज आनी हालींच ताका नॅशनल एवॉर्ड मेवला फॉर बीइंग द टॉप मोस्ट नॅशनल एकेडेमीक एक्सलन्स फॉर द डीन्स ऑल ओवर इंडिया. तर आमकां कुशालकाय भोगता की आमचे मदें येवकार दिवपाक दोतोर आमचो शिवानंद बांदेकार. दोतोर माय मोगाचो येवकार तुका.
थँक्यू.
तर तूं सारकोच बिजी आहा. तुका मेळप म्हणजे कठीण. तर वी आर व्हेरी लकी that you made it possible for us because you are for the health of the people and you have done excellent work during COVID-19 and we know all cases even last minute kon morta zalyar they may be in anywhere hospital they are directed to you and you have excelled in whatever your job despite the magnitude of the load that you get. Please tell us, people are saying this is COVID and we telling them it is not COVID. And that new virus, they call it as a HMVP. So you have to tell all our viewers spread all over the world what is this new virus, so-called new virus.
म्हणजे एकूच सांगणे की हो जो न्यू व्हायरस असा ह्युमन मेटा न्युमो व्हायरस हो कोविड व्हायरस न्ही आणि तो कोविड व्हायरस इतलो डेंजरसूय न्ही. म्हणजे आमी ताका विरुलन्स म्हणटा. हो जो एक व्हायरस आसा हातून खूब लोकांक हेच्या पयलीं हो व्हायरस डिटेक्ट जाल्लो इन 2003. आतां हो व्हायरस परत रिसर्च जाला इन चायना आनी थिंगा चडशा लोकांक थंडी जाता, एक भाशेची थंडी जाता आनी त्या थंडेक लागून तांकां कळून आयलो की हो नवीन व्हायरस बेजिकली कित्याक तर ताजे जे ट्रिटमेंट आसा हेका लागून तांकां कळून आयलें की हो रेग्युलर इन्फ्लुएन्झा व्हायरस न्ही. हो एक नवीन व्हायरस आणि त्याचे नाव आसा ह्युमन मेटा न्युमो व्हायरस आणि ओन्ली थिंग इज इट इज RNA व्हायरस. वेन वी से RNA व्हायरस इट हॅज अ ग्रेट पोटेन्शियल फॉर रेजिस्टन्स अँड इट हॅज नो ॲक्च्युअल ट्रीटमेंट इन दी बिकॉज इट कीप्स ऑन चेंजिंग दी कोडिंग आणि त्याचे ते आमी अमायनो ॲसिड्स कोडिंग म्हणटा ते चेंज जायत आसता. म्हणून मातशें केअरफूल रावचें पडटा. आणि म्हजें इतलेंच मत की हांगा पॅनीक जावपाची गरज ना बेजिकली बिकॉज दीस इज नॉट कोवीड. दीस इज नॉट लायक कोवीड व्हायरस. इट अफेक्ट्स दी चिल्ड्रन अँड दी एल्डरली अँड इट अफेक्ट्स अप्पर रेस्पिरेटरी म्हणजे आमची जी थ्रोट आसा नोज आसा ताकाच अफेक्ट चड जाता आनी रेअरली हातून निमोनिया जाता. निमोनिया म्हणजे लंग्सान उदक भरता ताका आमी निमोनिया म्हणटा. सो रेअरली ह्या व्हायरसाचेर निमोनिया जाता. इतले
तर सद्याक आयज पर्यंत 7 केसीस HMVPचे मेवलेले आहा कन्फर्म इन इंडिया आनी सगळे ते अफेक्ट जालेले आहा. दे आर ऑल इन्फंट्स इन कर्नाटका जावं तामिळनाडू गुजरात नागपूर बी मेवले आहा. आनीक ते म्हणटा दीस इज नथिंग लायक कोविड व्हायरस आनी हो ते म्हणटा की हो व्हायरस it was there for last 60 years.
Yes.
So immunity has been developed. Yeah. But लोक कितें म्हणटा सिम्पटम्स सुरवातेचे कोविडाच्याच भाशेन जाता म्हण आनी ताका लागून लोक मातशे आबूज जाल्या.
हय न्ही सिम्पटम्स कोविडा भाशेनूच जाता. कित्याक सांग की ती व्हायरस हॅज गॉट ग्रेट एफिनिटी फॉर रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम म्हणटकूच लोकांक दिसता कितें आनी चायनाच्यान आयले की एक तो ब्रँड जाला की चायना व्हायरस म्हटले की कोविड व्हायरस. पण अशें पॅनीक सिच्युएशन सद्या ना. आणि हातून जे सिम्पटम्स आसा ते अबाउट 70% सिम्पटम्स दे ओवरलॅप विथ कोविड सिम्पटम्स म्हणून त्या लोकांक दिसलें आसतलें की ही कोविड म्हणून. पण म्हजें मत अशें की आमकां मातशें केअरफूल रावूंक जाय जर ते स्प्रेड जालें जाल्यार. पण इंडिये भितर ते व्हडले स्प्रेड जावना आनी ताका लागून आमकां दिसता की हे चड स्प्रेड जावं नाका म्हणून. तर ज्या लोकांक मातशी थंडी जाल्या तांच्यांनी क्रावडा भितर वतना आपल्या सेफ्टी खातीर आपुणूच मास्क घालचे. दॅट विल बी द गुड सिवीक सेन्स आनी म्हाका तेतून दिसता की हे ना लोकांक कांय त्रास जावंक शकना. हे व्हडलें पॅन्डेमीक अशें न्ही.
कित्याक हांकां पळय केसी पळय आमी मेवले इंडियेक, दे हॅव ऑलवेज बीन चिल्ड्रन, मोस्टली चिल्ड्रन बिलो 1 year ऑफ एज.
हय, ते चडशे ल्हान भुरग्यांकूच जाता. आनी ताजी इट हॅज इट ऑल्सो अफेक्ट्स दी एल्डरली. पण इंडियन जे केसी मेवला ते सगळे ल्हान भुरगीं पिडियाट्रीक एज.
आनी ते म्हणटा एल्डरली जाले जाल्यार दोज विथ कॉमॉर्बिडिटीज म्हणजे तांकां हेल्थ प्रॉब्लेम जे पळय आहा, हायली डायबेटीक ऑर हार्ट प्रॉब्लेम जे आहा, 60-65 प्लस तांणी चड मातशें केअर घेवपाचो.
हय, कोमॉर्बिडिटी सदांच आपली इम्युनिटी उणी करता म्हणून आमकां सदांच तेजेर केअरफूल रावचें पडटा. हांव ह्याच खातीर म्हणना, पण कोवीड टायमार सुद्दां आमकां चडशे लोकांक कोमॉर्बीड लोकांकूच कोवीड रोखडे जाताले हे दिश्टी पडलां आमकां आनी तांकां निमोनिया व्हेरी हाय इंडेक्स जाताले. सो हांगाय बी हांव चिंत्ता की प्रत्येकानी आपली इम्युनिटी बरी दवरची आनी यू कॅन डिफीट दीस वायरस विथ युअर ओन इम्युनिटी. जाता
कित्याक हो वायरस न्यू काय न्हू
न्ही.
आनी इंडियेक 2003 तुवें सांगला ते भाशेन पयलोच केस डिटेक्ट जाल्लो आनी आतां देखून केस पळय डिटेक्ट जाता ताका भंय ना कसलीच.
हय, भिरांत ना. म्हणजे अशें आसा की आमी आतां तेजे बिहेवियर समजला. सो जर कोणाक आतां थंडी जाली, म्हजें मत अशें की जर थंडी जाली ताणें ते इन्फ्लुएन्जा टेस्ट म्हूण आसता, ते इन्फ्लुएन्जा 1, 2, A, B अशें ते सगळे टेस्टींग करून मायक्रोबायोलॉजीन ते करून मागीर जर हे सगळे टेस्ट नेगेटीव आयले आनी तरी ताका थंडी आसा, हाजो मिनींग की ताका ही मेटा वायरस आसूंक शकता आनी ताणें तो मागीर तो मेटा वायरसाचो PCR टेस्ट करपाचो. हो टेस्ट आमी करता गोवा मेडिकल कॉलेजीन आनी तो टेस्ट केल्यार आनी तेतून ती वायरस मेळ्ळी जाल्यार ट्रिटमेंट इज ओन्ली सिम्पटोमॅटीक. ट्रिटमेंट
कशें जोराक पळय नॉर्मली आमी टॅबलेट्स बी कितें घेता
एब्सोल्युटली
आनी रेस्ट चड गरजेचो. रेस्ट आनी स्ट्रेस बी आसूंक उपकारना.
हय, स्ट्रेस यू शूड डायल्यूट स्ट्रेस कित्याच कामाक स्ट्रेस बरो न्ही. इवन इफ यू हॅव नॉन इन्फेक्टीव NCD म्हणटा आमी ताका, नॉन कम्युनिकेबल डिजीज ऑल्सो, दॅट स्ट्रेस इज नॉट गुड फॉर एनीबडी एंड आय ऑलवेज टेल दॅट इज नॉट वर्थ टेकिंग स्ट्रेस.
ताकाच लागून जोयते लोक म्हणटा अरे हे कोवीड मरे तातूंत स्ट्रेस वाडटा आनी स्ट्रेस वाडून तांकांच तो माल पडटलो.
हय, खुबशे लोक भिल्ले आसा की हे एका भाशेन कोविडा भाशेन जायत काय ना अशें तांकां डावट गेल्लो आसा. पण सायन्सा प्रमाणे आनी मायक्रोबायोलॉजी स्टडीज दीस वायरस कॅनॉट गो लायक कोवीड अँड म्हाका तरी दिसता मॉर्टॅलिटी म्हणटा ती ओन्ली इफ देर इज टोटल नेग्लिजन्स ऑन दी पेशंट्स पार्ट. करेक्ट.
म्हणजे जण एकल्यान जायते उपाय सोदाचे भाशेन जोराक पडे घेता, थंडेक म्हणडे ते उपाय घेवंकूच जाय, रेस्ट घेवंक जाय आनी कामाक वचोंक उपकारना.
ना, रेस्ट घेवंक जाय.
हय, तो चड गरजेचो. आनी ते म्हणटा की कोविडाचे सेम सिम्पटम पूण स्मेल आनी एअर बाबतींत प्रॉब्लेम जाताले म्हूण आनी चॅस्टाक चडसो पेज येतालो म्हूण, जो आतां जायना.
हय, आमी कोवीड टायमार चडशे पळयला निमोनिया म्हणजे लो रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रॅक्ट.
आतांय म्हणटा ते इफ यू निग्लेक्ट इन द इनिशियल स्टेज न्युमोनिया जावंक ब्रोंकायटीस बी जावंक शकता.
हय, म्हणजे कितें आसता इन्फेक्शन जर तशेंच उरले विदावट प्रॉपर केअर आनी आमी जर सिम्पटोमॅटिकूय घेयले ना जाल्यार इट कॅन अफेक्ट दी लोवर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रॅक्ट, ताका निमोनिया म्हणटा आमी. आनी हे जावं पण तितले जायना ह्या वायरसान. निमोनिया इज नॉट रिपोर्टेड सो फ्रिक्वेंटली.
आनी अशें म्हणटा इन सायन्स की यूथ बिलो 5 तांकां असलो जोर येताच वन्स इन एंड देन दे डिवेलॉप इम्युनिटी.
न्ही, एक्चुली पळोवपाक गेल्यार चडशे आमचे पॉप्युलेशनाक इम्युनिटी आसा बेजिकली बिकॉज आमचे चडशे पॉप्युलेशनाक हे इन्फेक्शन जावन गेल्ले आसता. इन्फ्लुएन्जा तर सगळ्यांक जावन गेल्लो आसता. मागीर H1N1 म्हणटा ते बी जावन गेल्ले आसता. सो म्हाका दिसता आमची ओवरऑल इम्युनिटी इन द पॉप्युलेशन इज गुड.
हय. आनी म्हाका अशें आदी नोव्हेंबरान देखून 2-3 कोणा आमच्या सोयऱ्यांकूच ते म्हणून आरे ओहलो जोर आनी ओहली थंडी म्हाका केन्नाच पळोवंक ना. आनी पळोवंक इन केरला 20 जाणांक सेम वायरस अफेक्ट जालो. दे ऑल केम आउट दीस थिंग. ते म्हणटा भंय कसलीच ना. इफ यू टेक प्रॉपर प्रिकॉशन्स. आतां प्रिकॉशन कसली आनी कशे भाशेन घेवपाचें दोतोर?
Precautions, I will start from having improved your immunity. आता मनशान आपली इम्युनिटी कशी इम्प्रूव करप म्हणजे सिंपल थिंग्स आय विल टेल यू. पहिली गजाल म्हणजे आपण आपली डायट बरी घेवंक जाय, बॅलन्स डायट घेवंक जाय. वी शूड नॉट ईट जंक फूड अँड ऑल कायंड्स ऑफ थिंग्स इन आउटसायड, सो दॅट आमकां हजार भाशेचे वायरसीस आसता. इवन यू कॅन गेट अ व्हायरल गॅस्ट्रोएंट्रायटीस. सो हे गोष्टी पयली लक्षात घेवंक जाय की आपली डायट शूड बी बॅलन्स्ड अँड हायजिनीक डायट. अँड वी शूड टेक लॉट ऑफ विटामीन सी.
विटामीन सी गरजेचे.
गरजेचे. आणि अदर विटामिन्स ऑल्सो आर गरजेचे.
सो फ्रुट्स वूड बी आयडियल.
फ्रुट्स वूड बी आयडियल. आणि लायम ज्यूस, फ्रुट्स यू कॅन टेक ऑरेंज ज्यूस. असले जर तुमी फ्रेश फ्रुट्स ज्युसीस बी घेयले जाल्यार म्हाका दिसता तुमची इम्युनिटी बरी उरतली, हेल्थूय बरें उरतलें आणि यू कूड फायट दी गेटिंग इन टू दीस कायंड ऑफ इन्फेक्शन. दुसरी गजाल म्हणजे एकदा जर जालें, थंडी एक कसली जाली तुका आनी दिसता बरी जायना आपली थंडी, जाल्यार एक डॉक्टराक मेळून आपले ते सगळे टेस्ट करून घेवपाचे. देर इज बायोफायर म्हूण एक टेस्ट आसा विच इज ऑफ 27 कायंड्स ऑफ वायरल टेस्ट. इज मातसो कॉस्टली तो, पूण आमी तो एडवायज करना. आमी कितें म्हणटा, आमी पयलीं सगळे इन्फ्लुएन्जाचे सब टायप्स बी करचे आनी मागीर वी शूड डू, सपोज ऑल दीस टेस्ट आर नेगेटीव, देन यू शूड डू RT-PCR फॉर दी ह्युमन मेटावायरस. बेजिकली बिकॉज तेच लोक पॉझिटिव्ह आसूंक शकता. आनी हो टेस्ट मागीर तुका चीप पडटा, कित्याक तो टेस्ट इज हार्डली ₹1,500.
आणि अशें म्हणटा की दॅट दीस HMPV व्हायरस इज ए ग्लोबली रेकॉग्नायज्ड व्हायरस ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड.
येस.
माझी भयण पळय जर्मनीक आहा, तिका जालो आनी तिणें म्हाका फोन केलो, म्हळ्यार जोर आनी थंडी आनी सोर थ्रोत, म्हळ्यार उलोवपाक जायना म्हणून. हय.
ना, HMPV is not a new chapter. It is there. It was detected earlier also. And a known virus. आता कशें जाला की थंय मातशी एपिडेमिक जाल्ल्या कारणान, चडशे लोक दुयेंत जाल्ल्या कारणान ते आतां मातशें इट हॅज कम इन टू डिस्कशन अमॉंग्स द पब्लीक.
हय. पूण आतां असले कितें प्रॉब्लेम जाले जाल्यार इज GMC रेडी टू टॅकल?
वी आर एब्सोल्युटली रेडी टू हँडल HMPV epidemic if it comes. And आमचो virology lab has done all the studies and we already got procured the kits for a test. So आमच्या सायडीन we are ready. We have also arranged things for isolation of such patients if we get. And our pediatric ward is also ready to handle the
because
children.
mostly they say it will be children who can
children,
be affected.
Yes, children.
Yeah. And normally the mothers and all, they don't take appropriate care at that time.
At that time, correct.
Yeah. So what would you advise for the people who have gone through this episode of this virus, when they go out and all that, should they wear a mask or?
At this stage I don't want to create that panic situation की सगळ्यांनी मास्क घालूंक जाय अशें ना. पण हांवें सकाळींच म्हटलें आमच्या डॉक्टरा मदीं सुद्दां हांव म्हणटा कितें, कोणाकय जर थंडी जाल्या, कसली थंडी आसूं, टील द टायम यू डोंट डायग्नोज इट, सो बेस्ट थिंग इज यू पुट अ मास्क फॉर युअर सेल्फ and see that you, because this infection goes through droplet transmission. Droplet transmission म्हणटा. So स्वता मनशान out of civic sense we should wear the mask and go in the public. आणि there is no such requirement as such of social distancing, non going to crowded place. One can very well go wear your mask if you feel there are a lot of people who are sneezing, coughing in the crowd. You yourself protect yourself with a mask.
They say that most of us do not take precautions when you are sneezing or coughing. They shigo katta odlyan आवाज आणि ओल्लो करता. So there is more spread of the virus.
Absolutely, people enjoy sneezing in a loud voice, and they
so that everybody notices.
Notices.
But perhaps they don't know that they are sending the virus transmitting the virus, and that it should be avoided.
Very true.
Yeah. आणि दुसरे, they say hand hygiene is very, very important.
To me, hand hygiene is important all the time. It is not only because there is metavirus now, But hand hygiene is always important, basically because wherever we go to the places, like when you go to washrooms and all in the public places and all, I have seen abroad and all, what they do, they carry one tissue paper. They don't directly touch the handle. They use a tissue paper, they open, they close and throw that tissue paper. So I think this is one very simple and cheap method of not getting into direct contact with these kind of articles, because which are used by lot of people, you know. So hand transmission is secondly, whenever you come out from outside into in your house, your first thing you should do is wash your hands. And nowadays, earlier also we were not washing bananas and all kinds of fruits at home, but now it is very essential that you wash all the fruits that you bring in the house. So हे गोष्टी जर केल्या म्हाका दिसता you would maintain a good hygiene.
Yeah, basically it is a hygiene that can reduce the load of the virus.
Correct.
But people do not know how to wash hands. There are about 8 or 9 steps to wash the hands, in between, behind, and your thumbs. And
there are WHO steps, you know. World Health Organization has given steps, but they are more for people who are doing surgeries and all. But when you do day-to-day washing, it should be seen that between your web spaces of the fingers and your thumb area, which are called as blind spots, they are to be washed specially along with your palm rubbing. So one has to learn that hand washing, and you know, you do palm rubbing and you do back rubbing. So if you do this much is also enough for you know, hand hygiene.
The protection. And they say that this fomites, the items which are touched by the possible person who is going through that, there is where greater care has to be taken. Tumi koi sangla in the WC, toilet and all that. People go and directly they open, and then if there are some virus there, definitely you will acquire them.
Yes. So fomites also carry viruses. आणि आम्ही त्या कोविड टायमार आम्ही इवन न्यूजपेपर्स बी बंद केल्ले, बिकॉज वी थॉट इट विल कॅरी वायरसीस इन एवरी हावस. पण वायरसाचे दुसरी आसा की तूं कितले आयसोलेशन केलें आनी हें केलें तरी सुद्दां वायरस ट्रॅवल जाताच. आणि तातूंत म्हाका दिसता वी शूड ओनली टेक जनरल प्रिकॉशन्स अबाउट फोमाइट्स. वी शूड जस्ट टेक general precautions, not necessarily knowingly touch those articles which come from the infected area.
And hand washing should be preferably with water and soap.
Yes, I would recommend detergent soap, not simple soap. We know you get this kind of detergent soaps which removes everything, layers of the infected material. So
if you take these precautions and you take appropriate care, and how long normally this could last if somebody has got this virus?
Normally it is like, you know, influenza, a common cold. You know, we always say in medicine, if you treat common cold it takes 1 week, untreated common cold goes within 7 days. So finally it means same thing. One could wait for 1 week to 7 days so that you can you know, be free from the symptoms. One should not get complications. Complications means secondary infection where you need to take antibiotics and all. So that one should avoid.
So antibiotics will not work in any case
in
for
these
this
cases,
virus?
In these cases of pure metavirus infection, no antibiotics. But you can't know, because sometimes these patients, they hang around with the infection and they have secondary infection. So in such cases antibiotics do have a role, so that they don't get into complications of.
So if it is a case of acute pneumonia and all that, you have to treat with antibiotics.
You will have to cover up with antibiotics.
Yes, that is necessary.
And
also they talk about severe acute respiratory infection and influenza-like illness, and they say these are dangerous.
There are two types of respiratory illnesses which were identified earlier also, during COVID also. They are called as SARI, that is severe SARI, and ILI, means influenza like you know, illness. So what does this mean? They are again respiratory viruses only which affect the human beings when you get this. So what we say now, ki whenever there is a SARI or ILI type of patient, you investigate him for all the viruses. You do that all bandwidth of viruses and find out if they are negative. Then you do this meta-pneumo.
But GO is equipped to detect all this
everything.
problems.
We have one of the best virology laboratory in Goa Medical College.
Yeah.
We
And-
established it during COVID.
Yeah. And people have just to come, report, and
Yes.
do the test.
Yeah, absolutely. We are ready to do the test free of cost to the patients or to the people of Goa, and medical college has got a well equipped microbiology department.
Yeah. So you are prepared. Yeah?
we are prepared.
And only you need that people should be educated,
Yeah.
not to create a panic,
Ah.
and not to get unnecessarily worried.
More than educated people should be aware that such thing is existing
Yeah.
in the world. And then if suppose somebody has got very bad cold and then it doesn't go, and he finds that he should do the test whether to know what cold it is, whether it's influenza or H1N1. So then you should go and do this testing. It is not very costly.
So children below 5, they have to take more care.
Yeah.
And then people with comorbidities, you said
Yeah.
60, 65,
Yes.
who have health problems.
Correct. Correct.
So they should take
More
greater care.
Greater care.
Yeah. And should they find any problem, if they approach GMC, it is taken care of.
Absolutely, we will take care.
So all the doctors and the nurses
Yeah.
and the entire staff have already been briefed.
Briefed.
And the government is prepared to handle it.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
You have that much experience.
Yeah.
Then it was such a big problem.
Yeah.
But now it is not.
No.
It's only that fear psychosis that people.
And I don't think that this particular thing will go in that magnitude of involving large numbers of people. So I think we should just be aware and be very intelligent enough to watch what is happening in the due course of time, and that is how we are going to help the society also. Getting panicked and getting into some newer ideas of isolation and all is not good for at all for a society.
Even those 2 infants in Bangalore, they were discharged.
Yeah, they were discharged. Yeah.
Yes. And as I said, Kerala had about 20 cases
Yes.
in 23-24,
Correct.
and nobody died so
No.
far.
The mortality is also very low.
Yes.
Very low
Yes.
as compared to COVID. Mortality.
COVID was and though this virus is there right from 60 years ago, they
Yeah.
said 2003 identified, it has not mutated. Therefore,
No.
they say you have developed power of resistance.
Yes. In fact, this is a very important question that you asked me. See, the sequence of that virus, we call it as a genomic sequence, has remained same for last so many years. And that sequencing also we do. So know how the amino acids are placed. Basically RNA viruses, one should know the amino acid sequence. And over a period of so many years, the sequence has not changed. Whereas in COVID, we had variety of changes. We could have a lot of mutations, like second wave of COVID was deadly because there was a mutation to Delta.
Yeah.
So,
And people are asking questions. Now the vaccine is available for COVID. Shall we take that vaccine for this virus?
no, there is nothing that I would be in a position to advise, because I don't think one should take that vaccine for this virus.
Yeah, but that virus is totally different,
different,
from
yeah.
This virus.
Yeah.
It will have no effect at all.
I don't think it will have an effect at all. Okay.
Yeah. So to sum it up, Dr. Bandekar, what would you suggest to the people so that there is no panic, first of all?
I would only like to advise people that this human metavirus, which has been detected in China, and it has affected China very badly, and also seen in some cities of India, it is like one of the upper respiratory tract infection which we see regularly. If you feel that this particular infection is in you, then you must do all the other tests to negate it, and then we have a metavirus testing in Goa Medical College, or you can do it in any private lab, whichever you wish. Only thing is that you see that you maintain your good personal hygiene, you improve your immunity, and whenever you go in a crowded place, if you find there are too many people sneezing and coughing, protect yourself from them with a mask. This will give you a lot of benefit from such kind of a behavior.
Especially mask would be needed if you are going in a crowded place.
And then some people are coughing, sneezing, because you can have those kind of crowds also. No?
Yeah. And fever normally is treated with paracetamol? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. There is no special treatment for this virus. It is all symptomatic. If there is a fever, you take for fever paracetamol. If there is a cough, you can take anti-cough syrups. And if there is anything to do with Chest infection, you can take antibiotics if required,
Yeah.
but on the advice of the doctor.
The Kerala government has said that this was there for the last 2 years. There were no problems.
Yeah.
Did we have any such a case in Goa?
I don't think we have documented,
Yes.
but we might have had a miss. That kind of a miss can happen because patients have come and one has not thought very seriously about this human metavirus. So I don't know. It must have come because Kerala is so near to Goa.
Yes.
It must have come to Goa and gone, but we have not registered any.
And actually, people treated that as normal
It
fever,
is
flu,
flu.
Due to the symptoms.
Yeah.
Now, because China, there is a problem.
Yeah.
And when you talk of China hospitalization, they think of a COVID. But this connection is not
No,
the right
I
thing.
don't think we should connect it.
Yes.
And we should make it in relevance to COVID. I don't think, because that
It's
is
not proper.
not proper, and unnecessarily it will create a panic situation amongst the people.
Yeah. So you insist that the diet plays an important role.
Very important role, because the balanced diet is very important with all the ingredients of vitamins, minerals, and your vitamin C especially is very important.
So you need to raise your
Yeah,
immunity.
immunity.
How would you do that? You have said, can you?
Means I would personally say that, see, whenever you feel that you have to raise your immunity, most important part is hydration. You have to drink plenty of water. Most of us, we don't drink proper water. So it starts from there. Then having your balanced diet, and then having fresh fruits which contain all kinds of vitamins, minerals, and mostly that vitamin C. If you do this, I think there is nothing great that you are losing in your life, and as far as immunity is concerned.
So I think you are well prepared.
Yeah.
Like always, you have been the savior for the health scenario in Goa. Thank you for being with CCR TV.
Yeah.
I know you're hard pressed. You have to go for a meeting right now. That's how I found you looking at your work. Sorry for taking your precious time. But you have done commendable job. That's how you got the national award very recently. And we know that if there is any problem, can we suggest you go to GMC?
Of course, yes. All the citizens of Goa have right to come to Goa Medical College, and we will always help them if they are in trouble. There is no problem if they come to Goa Medical College for even this kind of infections in the respiratory system.
So at this time, we can only say God bless you for your wonderful efforts.
Yes, I only wish that people don't get into this metavirus, but in case they get, if the unfortunate event happens, then we are ready to help you. Please come to GMC, we will help you.
God bless you, Dr. Shivanand.
Yeah.
And you have always been cooperative, and you are there at the service of humankind, and that is how I think people do appreciate you little more for your gesture in always being available to those who are suffering. God bless you, Dr. Shivanand Bandekar.
Thank you.